Supposedly I'm live. We'll see how this goes. Get Rumble going. How you doing, Jay Watterson? And to the couple people on Rumble, hello and good evening. Or morning or whatever. A little late getting on compared to when I wanted to, but I'm just happy to try to make it on twice in one day, kinda. To people on Rumble, I just put the link to the YouTube chat in, the Rumble chat, in case you can't chat on Rumble. Alright, so, let's talk here. Let me check my sound. Let me know if my sound is okay. I believe it is, but let's talk. Hey, okay. It is working. So, alright, well, we are definitely going to talk about the Tim Pool kerfuffle that has gone on. Let me find the video I just had because for some reason Rumble decided to take it down. Rumble, I love you. I really don't. Sometimes Rumble can be a pain in the jacknuts. For some reason they decided to, when I went live, they moved my sound over. Well, my sound, my voice always sounds like that. My voice sounds like that all the time. Which you never would have known that I actually sounded like I did show choir and I was baritone. And sang in show choir, but yep, you never would have known that, would you? This happens all the infections, and now I've lost my link of where I was. So forget. Oh, right, hey, there, it reminded me a little bit. That's farther than I was. We were right about here. Right there-ish. Yes, there. That's where I wanted to start. All right, so, yeah. How you doing, Jimmy? No, my voice really does sound like that. Before my mom died a couple years ago, she dug up, I cannot believe she still had some recordings of me in show choir. And she brought that out and showed me, and she's missed how my voice sounded. And she's right. Hell, even some people that ever saw me doing my Exploring with CF Urbex live streams or Tough Topics, my friends from New Zealand, my voice was deeper. I could still do the Optimus Prime voice or the movie trailer guy voice if I wanted. Not anymore. The damage to my voice box of all the infections and everything else going on, and the strain to talk with lack of air has damaged it. So, how you guys doing tonight? You know what? I am very glad that I didn't go on earlier, because I did want to watch Timcast to see what went on. And I'm telling you right now, wow. That was a cluster. And I'm betting you guys are going to disagree with me. But let's dig. I'm going to say right now, I'm sorry. I think Candace Owens is either just pure chaos, evil, deep state, whatever you want to call her. It's way too much of a coincidence Candace starts doing this and I loved Charlie Kirk. Sorry, no. She is decimating every single thing Charlie Kirk would have wanted or stood for. Even if TPUSA had a problem, he wouldn't want her out there destroying everything he fought for to get MAGA to bring in people to the right, and she is decimating them. Saying, stop giving money, stop going to their events. That is it. If I actually do agree with Tim and some others have said, if Trump loses the midterms now, if the midterms are lost by the Republicans, it is definitely Candace Owens' fault. I'll say it right out. Done. Candace Owens' fault. She has stuck a stick in it for good. I mean, the Republicans were on the rise. They actually had a chance. It had been rising, and for all this kerfuffle, it was about 50-50 chance, which is actually very good for an incumbent party or incumbent president. But now, since then, it's just gone to hell. I'm going to totally disagree with Jay Waters, and this is one that you and I are not agree on. I think it's bullshit. I think Candace Owens is full of shit, and I have been watching. I've got a couple of links of hers up here. I'm sorry. I'm tired of the conspiracy bullshit. It can't be all conspiracies. It can't be all tinfoil. It can't be, oh my God, they took Charlie Kirk out. Shot themselves in the foot. Come on. I just cannot think that you're going to say that every single damned person in TPUSA say, you know what, we don't like being millionaires. We don't like actually getting influence. We don't like actually things happening that we've stood for. I'm not going to believe that. Might I be a year from now going, well, shit. Damn, I was wrong. But right now, no. That is a bridge that I just can't get to. It's an insane bridge. It is Occam's razor. I'm sorry. It is more realistic and honest to think that Candace Owens, who is a fucking grifter. Sorry, she is. She was a lefty. She's been trying to do things that failed in her life, and she kept trying to find the grift. She only went right when she found money and clicks. And now she's gone the other way. She's found money and clicks. She has an army of female retards mostly out there. I'm not saying everybody is, but a lot of her army is. It's the true crime murder podcast people. These are people that make that Alex Jones would go, damn, you crazy. That's too much tinfoil. So we're not going to agree. Not that we have to. I've never booted anybody out for disagreeing with me. And hell, why would I do that? Why would I deny you the chance to come back later and go, yeah, jackass, told you. I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong. If I make a mistake while driving a car and somebody's screaming and cussing at me, I'm the first one to bow my head, give the wave, let them cuss at me. I have no problem with that. But I'm sorry. The chances that everybody at TPUSA was involved in offing Charlie Kirk or wouldn't be out there screaming ad nauseum with facts and evidence compared to just the fact that Candace Owens being a jackass or controlled deep state. In fact, I'm surprised that a lot of the tinfoil, aluminum foil, whatever hat people out there aren't more of them going, yeah, this is too coincidental. Candace Owens is being uplifted everywhere while Nick Fuentes is being stepped on. He's being stomped on. In fact, there were people today saying to Steven Crowder, I liked you, Steven. I stuck with you through everything until you platformed Nick Fuentes. There were people telling Steven Crowder they were done with him because of Nick Fuentes today. Nick Fuentes is the devil incarnate, but Candace Owens is being uplifted everywhere. And last time we saw somebody being uplifted everywhere or a ideology being uplifted everywhere, we found out the deep state Biden administration, FBI, everybody else had offices in all of our social media and were running this. So that's all there is to it. The very numbers, the math of all the people that have to get behind offing Charlie Kirk compared to the people getting behind running Candace. It's a whole way too many different people. Too much tinfoil. In fact, I'm not even sure there is that much aluminum foil in this country or in the world to say that, yep, all these people, that's it. And they're all too scared. But Candace, she says a shitload of things without and nothing real to back them up. Every once in a while, she throws so much shit against the wall, some turd sticks. And I'm not saying TPUSA is clean. They've done some scurvy stuff since. There's an internal power struggle. You got people that aren't the greatest and maybe not believed in everything Charlie Kirk did against the people who did. There is a power struggle. The very fact they didn't invite Tim Pool back, a lot of it. I'm not going to believe that TPUSA took him down and that the great almighty Candace just comes up with everything. Bullshit. She's gone way too far back the other direction. Anybody that trusts her is a lunatic. Sorry. or I get to throw flip-flops at you someday. Let's go with that. Just there's no way that... I just don't think so. I don't think I'm going to be proven wrong. Of course, I'm sure some of you guys don't either. People have been caught lying. The lies you are spouting is so minuscule. It is nothing that would say, yep, we took out Charlie Kirk. I don't give a rat's nugget about the tiny little BS that Candace has pointed to. It is very tiny. And even people like Tim Pool and Crowder and some others have pointed out those same things without going ooga booga. But Candace goes ooga booga. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to trust a woman who made up that bullshit tweet, that total bullshit tweet, where she said, oh, yeah, she used wording of, God, I'm a moron. And I could see how she worded that tweet where she's talking about the White House, the FBI, have acknowledged receiving my information about them trying to assassinate me. Nothing about the fact that they even thought it was real. She used language to make everybody go, oh my God, they've said that, yes, she's trying to be assassinated. My show will be off the air. It was just for the holiday. Any jackass twat that says that, she's lying. She uses that goddamn wording to friggin' throw people, especially people that are half-brained, right into a tizzy. The same people that watch, all the true crime podcasts and listen to those ad nauseum in their headphones. Yes, I'm worked up because it's just stupid. Because Tim Pool, and yes, I'm going to go farther in this. Milo Yiannopoulos, I think Tim needs to stay way away from that jackass. I do not trust Milo Yiannopoulos any farther than I could, toss a Buick. How's that? So, in case you think I'm just one-sided, no, I'm not. I think Milo Yiannopoulos, I've had ups and downs of that dudette, whatever he wants to call himself this week. But what he did the other day on Timcast was lunacy. So yeah. How you doing, Joel? The power struggle is connected to lies. I don't give a shit. I don't give a rat's ass about the power struggle. That does not equate to they were complicit with offing Charlie Kirk to me. That is pure nuttiness. That is nuttier than squirrel shit. There is no way they said, you know what? Half of them said, we will seize the power if we off Charlie. Come on. They would not know that they would win the power struggle. They wouldn't know how everything would work out. There's no way that they will get the furry dude and his boyfriend to do it. And that'll give us cover, but they will shut up and not say, TPUSA had us do it. Come on. I'm just not going to believe it. I've even heard people saying, Donald Trump's involved. Donald Trump off the guy that helped him get elected. My God, Donald Trump is evil. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? Nutso. 80s Buick Regal Grand National. Nice. Oof. Or was it the old 442 also had that? Same drivetrain in it? Yes. Buick Grand National is one of my dream cars. It is. It is. Technically, actually not as fast as my Trans Am, but my Trans Am ain't as fast as some of today's cars either, so whatever. But yeah, let's go take a look at this, guys. This is just a clip from the Timcast IRL. We're not going to watch all of it. I'll tell you what, the numerology guy Tim had on tonight, what a freaking lunatic. You know when somebody makes even Ian Crossland go a few times. This guy was on Ian's wavelength, but even Ian kind of sometimes was a little far for me. That's when you know you've lost the plot. But that guy was a nutcase. Tim is just, he's not in the mood anymore. Last thing I'm going to say before we start. Some of you may know, I actually do like D-Day Cobra Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. I followed his channels a long time. I once in a while watch D-Day Cobra still. Well, I had a feeling. I had my laptop, my phone, and my tablet upstairs in the kitchen while I was cooking some dinner for my wife, and I decided to put the tablet on to D-Day Cobra. Yeah, he was going over the Timcast thing almost as it was happening, and I have to disagree with him. Jeremy has always had deep dislike for Tim Pool. Anybody that's ever watched any of his streams knows he's had a dislike for Tim Pool. And I don't want to equate to jealousy with Jeremy because I like Jeremy's shows. I think he's a good showman. I think he's good at YouTube. And I think he's good at a lot of his D-Day Cobra channel. But I think him and easily half his chat was way out of their minds. Just absolutely hating on Tim Pool for saying he may quit or even thinking about it. And I'm going to disagree with Jeremy. Oh, he's rich. Sorry, not to make fun of you, dude, but Jeremy was just espousing, he's so rich, why does it matter? Are you kidding? Let's just say the man does have millions of dollars. But let's say it's taking more money to run IRL and the security that he's making. Why would Jeremy run his channels at a loss? No. Especially if somebody took a shot at some of Jeremy's family. If they drove up to a property where his family, his wife and child could be, and put shots in, would he be going, it's all good. That's okay, I'm a millionaire. I can afford to lose more money and get shots at maybe my family. I think that was short-sighted and real shitty to be saying. Even I can pick on Tim, and you guys have heard me do it, and you hear me support him at times. But I'm sorry, but if somebody was taking shots at my wife and kid, and I didn't see much of an out or didn't see it getting better, I don't know what I would do, especially if it was costing me frig loads more than I was bringing in. For that endeavor. Why should Tim lose money on that he's built for that danger and have to suck money from any of his other properties or his bank accounts? That's idiotic. So I totally disagree. I don't know. I just think some of the people that he had a divided chat. Some of them were really like, dude, you're back off. This is stupid. And others were like, yeah, get Tim. Tim's a lazy jackass. Like, once again, when somebody starts taking pot shots at some of those people's family, then we can chat. Now, I will say, Tim has one mistake. He talks about the danger to his family, how he has to have security, how hard it is to be safe. Let me put in one little word here, and I do not have an ego. I don't think I'm amazing. I'm more talking for anybody bigger than me, but smaller than Tim Pool. They can't afford security. All it takes is one lunatic in today's climate, political climate out there, or just climate in general, one lunatic to disagree with somebody on here, including my little dumbass, almost happy. Don't use a Jeremy from the Cowardice phrasing, but I'm almost happy my channel is so tiny that barely anybody notices me. So I can rant on here and say what I want without somebody coming after my ass. Because, I'm sorry, this is where I disagree with Tim. I don't have Tim Pool money. I don't have Jeremy money. I don't have Jim Bob channel money with, 10,000 subscribers. I don't have any of that to watch out from my ass. And there's tons of people out there like me, or I'd say between Jeremy and me, somewhere in that area. I know he's a lot bigger. I'm not giving myself to their level. But somewhere in those areas, there's a lot of people that can't afford security. Can't afford it, but they're still going to be out there talking. So there is something to be said for that. And some of those people do have families, and that's on their choice. But still, damn. Tim didn't think of his family over money. He'd be a Democrat like Pelosi or Biden. Yeah, I agree, Jimmy. I mean, I think Tim really has... he's got a lot of channels, and he does pull a lot of money. But telling everybody acting like he should just operate it at a loss and with shots being laid down on his family. I understand the patriotism, God, our forefathers fought for this country, but god dang, that's a big ask that a lot of us would not do. There's some that would, but whoa. I'm loath to get mad at a man with a newborn child to tell him how to take care of his child or watch out for the safety of his child or the college money saved for his child or anything else. let alone his wife. So, my choice, I would probably do what I saw people in Tim's chat say, buy more land, make a bigger buffer. Make it so they can't drive up on a road anywhere near any of your properties and shoot. Tim's got money. There's tons of land there. Why doesn't he buy more land? I know. I'm asking him to spend money. But it's a shitload less than probably closing everything down, buying new properties, and moving. Buy more land. Buy a bigger buffer zone. Get a bigger buffer. That's just me. Hey, no reply. I'll come watch you back for free if you need it. Oh, I appreciate it. Sorry if I missed anything here, guys. I'm just ranting away tonight. Jimmy, anti-2A, always want to seize flower seed spreaders, but they have bodyguards. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's true, Jimmy. Always the people who want to take away your guns, my guns, anything else, are the first ones to have them for themselves. Yeah, 100%. And that's like that here in my home state of Illinois. Pritzker, J.B. Pritzker is protected by weaponry that I can't own. Nobody else in this state can own except him and the police. Yeah, if you're a police officer, you get to have weaponry in your house that I don't. And it doesn't go away when you retire. You get to keep that. So you get more protection for your family than I get. That's insane. All right, let's head into this. I know, guys, I'm ranting, but it really pissed me off. As you can tell, I'm hiding it very well. But I just, I don't know. I think there's two. I just think Candace, and Milo, I'm including Milo in this, is way too perfectly timed. Candace knew when to leave Daily Wire, really went after them. She's gone after Crowder. She's going after Tim. She's going after TPUSA. Every damned part of MAGA, of the Republican support, of their growing support, she has gone after. It is crazy. She's caused an actual split in the whole Republican / MAGA, group out there. She really has. It is way, way too perfectly timed. You almost have to put on, Jay Watterson's going to smile a little somewhere here at this. I know a couple other people are going to smile when they see this tomorrow. You almost have to put that tinfoil hat on and go, yeah, that's deep state. This is the thing we've been worried about. A lot of people going, what's the deep state going to do to get back? They're going to get back. It's not going to be, they're not letting this go. And I've thought about it myself. They're not going to let this go. Something's going to happen. And now, perfectly timed. Perfectly. It's just way too much. And Milo is a chaos agent, so maybe he's just doing it because he likes chaos. He truly is like the chaos agent from some of the sci-fi novels you've read. He just likes the chaos. But I know I'm not getting myself to this video. I apologize. But this really irked the sheep shit out of me. And I just don't... I'm not going to... Okay, we'll go to this side. But yeah, so I apologize. I'll check the chat one more time. No reply. Milo is MTG's speechwriter. Yeah, and he works for Kanye right now. Yeah. Yeah, he's done a lot. But Milo's goofy. Milo will be balanced for a while, then he loses his shit. That sounds crazy, but Candace might have had Kirk unalived. No reply. There are other people who have intimated that because the only actual person who has profited from Charlie Kirk's assassination, besides the Democrat Party, was Candace Owens. She's able to go out and ipso facto just say, me and Charlie were still butt buddies. We were still besties. She's telling stories that some other people are saying aren't real, aren't true. She's able to embellish on them because Charlie's not around. They were growing apart, and he wasn't having her at certain events anymore. But Charlie may have known that, hey, don't push her away too hard. One, it'll split our coalition. Two, she's a little squirrel shit. So, I don't know. No reply. I've heard other people say that, though. Yep. There's a UK flag in Candace's studio, but no American flag. All right, last I'll say before we start, real quick, I'll check your guys' chats and answer, but Candace said something last week that should make everybody think. She said, we don't care about your midterms. Excuse me? One, if she still thinks of herself as either an American and or a conservative that she said she was again now, she should say our midterms or the midterms, not we. And she always refers to herself as we. So either she got an earpiece in, turned her pocket, or she just likes to include all of her crazy true crime podcast girls involved in we. She likes to speak for everybody else. Candace did that. You go back and look at Candace from a long time ago. Candace likes to speak for other people. She loves that. I think she likes to be the leader. She likes to be some type of almost cult leader. She likes to be Jared Leto, baby. But she said, we don't care about your midterms. If she is an actual conservative, actually honored Charlie Kirk, actually was MAGA, actually liked Trump, actually liked America, she would give a hell of a shit. I don't care if you like Republicans or not. Hell, I don't like half what Republicans do. Well, probably more than half, actually. I'm more of the mind uniparty. But she has done everything to hurt Trump, MAGA, Republicans, you and me, America. It's like she's almost a chaos agent of her own, or burn it down agent, or honestly, she is the deep state strikes back. I don't know. It's just, whoa. Holy crap. It's just scary. Alex Jones right now is going, holy shit. This chick is wacko. I don't know if she's wacko. I actually think she's very smart. Her lawyers are still in the office of where the government has offices. So now. But yeah, Charlie, I've heard that before. No reply about somebody saying Candace is involved. Alex Jones used the same lawyer for a Sandy Hook lawsuit that Candace Owens used for a high school lawsuit. Yeah, but that doesn't have much to do with what's going on right now with Candace's current lawyers. I don't know. Exactly, she's been calling everyone slaves, too. Yeah, she's using a lot of lefty terminology. She's using a lot of terminology the Biden administration, what we know was run by the deep state. She's using a lot of the same terminology now. And it's almost like people can't see it. No reply. She hates Charlie Kirk. See, I'm not sure if she hated Charlie Kirk or she's acting like some people say a jilted lover. That she loved Charlie Kirk. She describes how he put outfits on and blah, blah, blah. And she's helping him pick his outfit. You go, champ. Yes, I think Charlie Kirk needed somebody to help him pick an outfit. He seemed that indecisive. That man was driven. He was decisive. No. I call bullshit on that. And don't give me, I can show you the text. Show us the text. And even then, hell, I, a moron, know how to fake or make text. And I can change metadata. And I admit right away, I'm a dum-dum when it comes to this stuff. Every one of you in that chat is probably much smarter than any of this than I am. I know my limitations. But I think she may be a jilted lover. Because the way she describes Erica Kirk, even out of her own mouth, she seems upset. She wishes she had Turning Point as her cult. She wanted to be the cult leader, not be a nice leader like Charlie Kirk. She wanted to be it. But Charlie, everybody felt his honesty, saw how he really was, they thought he was a better person, and they gravitated to Charlie, not her. That's when the rift started between them. That's when they started. If you notice, there would be a big rift, but you could see the split starting. I think Candace wanted to be the cult leader. I think she wanted to be Jared Leto 2.0, or Leto, whatever, how you ever pronounce it. Yeah, a date with some girl, Erica Kirk, yeah. Charlie Kirk got with Erica September 2017, yeah. Candace came to PSA November 17th. Well, that's, though. Wow, yeah, no reply. I didn't know the dates were that much. Oof. Read the rest of that. The date was with Erica Kirk. Yeah, I know. And he refers to her as that girl, as a girl, or that girl, or something like that. She's, by her own telling now, she's not flattering or nice at all. O.J. Watterson, it doesn't matter. I don't know. I still don't believe it. I know you can look at me sideways. I do not think that Charlie Kirk needed Candace Owens to help him pick his clothing. She sounds, even if you acknowledge that, let's say yes. She sounds like a jealous, jilted lover, the way she talks about Erica, the way her texting on that talked. She sounds like a jealous lover or an angry person that she didn't get to be the head of the cult. In fact, that would be a good reason for her to burn down TPUSA, to decimate everything Charlie Kirk did. She's mad that she didn't get to be the God Almighty cult leader and that everybody wasn't worshiping her. So now she's going to make every one of them pay for not worshiping the great Candace. Come on. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Come on. How old school is that? And it's out there for a reason. It is out there for a reason. All right. Let's see here. You're right. It's either a scorned lover or because the mistress mourns harder than the wife, or she hated Charlie Kirk. Or my last one, she is pissed off at everybody at TPUSA because when her and Charlie Kirk were very closely working at TPUSA, they chose Charlie Kirk over her. She's pissed. She wanted that power. She wanted, once again, the cult status. They chose Charlie, and now she's going, bah, I'm going to get you. I'm going to decimate you for choosing him over me. So that's what I think. Could say something about Tim. I don't know. I don't see Tim having any chance of doing that to her. How is Tim going to do that to her? Tim isn't a jilted lover. Tim doesn't have text race trying to help her, Candace, pick out clothing. Tim and Candace were not almost near one time co-equal partners in TPUSA. Tim was a guest at AmeriFest. He wasn't maybe almost what somebody you could almost consider one of the founders or one of the top people at one time there. Tim is small potatoes at TPUSA compared to Candace when at her height or Charlie Kirk ever was. It's not the same. That's comparing apples to Ford F-150s. Not even close. And Candace has said a lot of insane shit. And Tim is right. She's decimating. Yeah, she's not a guest at AmFest, but at the beginning, her and Charlie, that's the other problem. Candace was much bigger at TPUSA at one time, and then they started to be a split, and everybody's mentioned, yeah, he didn't have her at AmFest. And there were mentions that she was not happy about that. Once again, she and me, no, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. She could feel scorned by Charlie. She could feel scorned by TPUSA or both. So, yeah. All right, let's head on to this. So, this is Phil's talking here. Then they go into, sorry if my Christmas lights behind me. You guys can't see them. They're up around behind me, but are reflecting. But Phil goes in and then a lot go, and they really go on. We're not going to go through the whole thing. There's a section here I will be talking about.
Democrats that are actually standing up and saying this is something that we disavow.
Let me know if you can hear
this.
this.
To do it more often because I think that the people on the ground they hear a totally different message than the one that the major players are playing.
I believe this is more of a symptom of the times than anything else. We live in an era of political assassinations. People feel as though they feel emboldened to take action into their own hands, and they feel as though they're justified in taking that action. It isn't only shots on the President Trump that we saw. In Japan there was a very effective, I hate to use that word, political assassination of Shinzo Abe. I listened to Tim's show earlier today where he put it extremely succinct, but it was so morbid. It was the most effective political assassination I think that of our generation of Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, I agree with Alad right there. So I wanted to play Alad. Alad is repeating something Tim said earlier. The assassination of Charlie Kirk is the most effective political assassination of our lifetimes. In fact, maybe of our parents' lifetimes. I don't know about our grandparents, but of our our lifetimes and our parents' lifetimes. It was effective. Look what it's done. Look what it's done. There was a decent chance that the Republicans were going to win the midterms, that Trump was going to get a lot more done. They were unifying. Now look, fractured, and fracturing more all the time.
Because what happened in, following the death of Charlie Kirk, the right is in complete disarray.
Nice, no reply.
Yeah.
And I think these people are emboldened by things like that.
And Turning Point has become the perpetrator of the crime in which they were the victim. That is probably one of the most terrifying things out of all of this. Charlie Kirk built an organization that registered young people to vote, convinced young people to support a populist, a pro-American nationalist, all these, this big coalition. He is murdered. By all means, ask questions about by who, whatever you want to think. And today, a large portion of people believe Turning Point, the victim, is actually the perpetrator.
Now, that's a good way to put it. Turning Point is the victim here, guys. Whether or not you think they've made some lies since, there's a power struggle going on, they are the victim. Their leader was murdered. He was assassinated in public. We all saw it. These people are hurting. His kids are without a dad. The wife was without a father. We're not going to go into her today. But there's everybody, people are friends who talk about how to drag his body into the vehicle. This is crazy. They're the victims, but now they've turned it around to them being the perpetrators. This is classic CIA, NSA, deep state BS right here. This is the same way the deep state was able to change Democrats from never trust the government's evil, government's bad. Oh my God, rich people are horrid. Don't trust the military. Now they are 180. 180. So you could say the same about the Republicans, but you wouldn't be right. Republicans have moved about 90, 80 degrees. Democrats have moved 180. 100%. They now espouse the opposite of every belief they did. It is classic. This is the biggest psyop ever, in my opinion. So, Jay Watterson, feel free to grin at me. Go, I thought we were going to have that much tinfoil. I think there's less tinfoil in this. That's crazy. There's no way the Democrats switched. Look how fast they switched. Switched everything. And now they did it here. They've turned the victim into the perpetrator. They've caused conspiracy theories afoot. And they've suddenly got chaos people jumping in to split and decimate and chop up everything Charlie and Trump has done.
That's how terrifying the political climate is. The left doesn't have this degree of self-sabotage. And so if you think about
neither does the right without help. They've got problems. They've had problems, but they were able to be held together by Trump and Charlie Kirk. Now there are people in there purposely separating them. This is people. These are wedges. People are in there like icebreakers or wedges driving everybody apart. And they're doing it purposely.
Not only did the left get everything they could have dreamed of from the murder of Charlie Kirk.
Weirdly.
And again, I don't know what Robinson's political affiliation is. He's got a transferee boyfriend. We'll see what the evidence shows.
Listen to his
Should you
family.
believe the FBI story.
I'm so.
How about not believing the FBI story? How about the family? How about the family? The family says this guy had switched. Once again, they're saying he flipped like 180. A lot of weird 180s. Say he went from this to that real fast within like a year's time. That's a lot for somebody to do. Totally switch. Maybe because he loved his furry boyfriend so much. I don't know. Maybe he fell in love with the D. I don't know.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Oh, what the FBI says, Tara Robinson did all that. So,
do you believe that? I think that the evidence we have seen thus far, Occam's razor, suggests Robinson is the likely culprit. We will see what happens in the trial when evidence is presented. But there's literally no other story. Just a bunch of fucking retards on the internet saying stupid shit.
And for some of you Some of you don't realize the last week or so, Tim has done something he rarely ever does on his normal show. This isn't the premium exclusive. This isn't the after show, which one of my Rumble accounts, I do have the premium. To be honest with you, is because of Crowder and Poole and a couple others I like. And I like that how Rumble's done work with them. Viva Fry I kind of like, and there's a bunch of others. But I have that. But Tim, I've been watching Tim a long time. I watch a lot of people. I think YouTube is probably the best source of information entertainment out there for your dollar. It is. But Tim rarely cusses on his normal show. He likes families to be able to watch it. He likes people who are sensitive to bad language to be able to watch and learn and try to reach out to people. So when he does what he did on a couple shows ago and what he does on this, it means something.
And what that does is the organization that helped get Donald Trump elected, which needs to persist. You don't got to be a fan of it, but it certainly will help get individual congressional candidates elected and stop Democrats from launching new committees and putting more people in prison like Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro. Instead, it's being gutted by fucking psychopaths telling people to pull their donations. So when this organization burns to the ground, or whatever the fuck happens to it, maybe they're fine. The organization that's rallying young people, causing a shift in the political leanings of a generation for the first time in history, is now in dire straits. Their leader and founder murdered, and prominent pieces of human trash are trying to destroy it.
So far, he's right. I don't find too many flaws in his either logic or anger, whichever one. Once again, if somebody had taken a shot at a place that maybe my wife and kid had been 4 or 5 hours earlier or something, and I'm not 100% sure they were there during the IRL, but they might have been. My God, they come to that property and hang out sometimes while he's doing the show. My God, I'd be pretty pissed. But I'm not finding a lot of flaws in his logic so far. There is too many people, and I'm not just blaming Candace. Like I said, I've thrown Milo in there, and there's others out there that do seem to be purposely were waiting for the exact same, I don't know. Let's say, let's go Star Wars. Well, what was it? Oh, I'm going to get so much hell from a friend of mine for this. What was it? General Order 24 or something? Where they turned on the Jedi? Stuff like that. That's almost what this feels like. God, I so am going to catch hell for that. But yeah, so it just seems way too perfect, way too much at once. And the way we saw the reactions of the rabid left after Charlie Kirk's assassination, they've programmed these people for 10, 12 years. They knew how a lot of these left-hard nutcases would react. They knew it wouldn't be a stop. It would just be a green light to more violence, which we've seen. Shit is getting real, guys. Maybe in my area it's not too bad. But even my wife and I, if we had the money, we would escape Illinois right now and move to Iowa. Illinois is not. It's no bueno, guys. I'm telling you, if you got money and you moved to the Illinois side of the Quad Cities instead of the Iowa side, you're an absolute retard. We are stuck here, unfortunately, at the moment. Or we'd be out of here. This side is stupid compared to the Iowa side. And by the way, the Iowa side is much safer. Follows a lot more of our Constitution, too. All right.
It's fucking evil. So you know what? When someone pulls in front of my property and fires on it several times, I'm sitting here looking at these vile pieces of shit and thinking to myself, for what purpose will I stick my neck out if this is what happens after Charlie Kirk is killed? Candace Owens is a fucking evil scumbag. She is a degenerate cunt. She is burning every...
Here, let me get me a little more out of the way. I mean, I know some people are like, oh, you're not that much in the way, but hang on. I don't know why my software likes to do that. There we go. Now I'll puff it back up. I'll get back with the chat in a little bit, guys.
Everything down, and she's gloating and smiling while she's on my property and fires on it several times. I'm sitting here looking at these vile pieces.
I'm not sure I've ever heard Tim use the C word. Especially on the non-after show, at least. How's that?
Of shit. And thinking to myself, for what purpose will I stick my neck out if this is what happens after Charlie Kirk is killed? Candace Owens is a fucking evil scumbag. She is a degenerate cunt. She is burning everything down, and
she is. In fact, I defy anybody to tell me how she's not. I heard somebody, I can't remember, was it this guy? The guest? I heard somebody say, well, maybe they'll come out of this for the better and stronger. How? We don't have time for this shit. We are way too close to the midterms to have every godforsaken thing that is supporting the Republicans or Trump or keeping you and I semi-safe in this country, having a chance of the economy maybe coming back, have it all ripped down this goddamned close to a midterm. There is no way it can be decimated much more than it is now and ever come back to close to what it was before the midterms. I'm going to say Candace, Milo, all the other chaos agents have caused this. And keep in mind, they went after Benny Johnson's family. They went after Cat Turd's family. They're going after a lot of people all at once. It seems almost coordinated. Almost.
It's after Charlie Kirk is killed. Candace, for the first time in history, is now in dire straits. Their leader and founder murdered, and prominent pieces of human trash are trying to destroy it. It's fucking evil. So you know what? When someone pulls in front of my property and fires on it several times, I'm sitting here looking at these vile pieces of shit and thinking to myself, for what purpose will I stick my neck out if this is what happens after Charlie Kirk is killed? Candace Owens is a fucking evil scumbag. She is a degenerate cunt. She is burning everything down, and she's gloating and smiling while she does it. And you know what you fucking told me? She has no security.
By the way, she does do that too. She has this. I'm not threatening violence, YouTube. This is a saying that's been out there forever. The type of smile you'd like to wipe off somebody's face. It's that type of haha, fuck you smile that a lot of times you see it on somebody going, that person's up to no good, or they're just a pure, arrogant piece of crap. They know they're doing something bad, and they know that nobody can do anything about it, or that they won't do anything about it. That's the type of smile I get from Candace. I've had this ick about her smile, even when she was kind of acting like she was on the right or the MAGA side or was good at TPUSA. I was always iffy on her because she felt wrong. She has this, come on, everybody's got a type of person, a certain way a person acts where they smile, whether the way they wave or the way they say hi or something, anything, where you go, ah. My spidey sense is tingling. It was always tingling at her. Even when I said stupidly, and I did say this, that maybe Candace Owens be our next president, our first female president. And I wasn't saying because I thought she was overly epic. It's because of her popularity. I thought she was smart. I've always thought she was smart. But holy shit. She gave me this weird feeling. And when I'm going to admit to my own hubris and stupidity, I don't know what I did there, but okay. When she seemed to be very supporting Trump, I was idiotic, and even I kept my mouth kind of shut about some of the, I don't know. I thought I was being paranoid. I thought I had been having the tinfoil under my hat too long. And now it's just like, geez, dude, you gotta listen. When that spidey sense is tingling, don't quiet it. Listen. And right now, my spidey sense is going nuts about what's going on.
It's after Charlie Kirk is killed. Candace Owens is a fucking evil scumbag. She is a degenerate cunt. She is burning everything down. She's gloating and smiling while she does it.
Yep.
And you know what you fucking told me? She has no security. She doesn't fucking deal with the shit we have to deal with. She's a piece of shit.
By the way, just to be clarification, nobody in the left is. Nobody. Once again, the bullshit narrative from the mainstream media and the Democrats is, well, the violence is on both sides. Or they actually say the violence is from the right. Then why don't any lefty podcasters have to have the security level of people on the center or right? Why aren't they getting shot at? Why aren't they getting attacked? Why aren't any of them getting, not that I want this to happen. I'm asking a question. Why aren't any of them being publicly assassinated? Not saying I want it. I'm asking why it isn't. Why hasn't it? This is refuting the medias and the Democrats. Oh, the right is the violent ones. Then why don't they need the security? Why doesn't Harry Sisson have fucking buku security somewhere near the level of Tim Pool? Just asking. Nobody in the left has to. Even that piece of crap Pritzker doesn't have to have the security of Tim Pool. That is stupid. And I'm not saying just Tim Pool. He's an example. Benny Johnson. You name it. Jeez Louise. Even Jeremy from the Quartering has to have some security on his back property where he lives. Holy crap. But the people on the left just la-di-da-di-da. They don't care. They barely have to do 100th of it. It's got to be angering, especially somebody like him who's been now getting shot at multiple times. There have been other times people swatted him. How many times? Bomb threats called into his show. There have been another incident where people broke onto the old Cass Castle property and fought with people who lived there. That's crazy. There were people that came into the new studio area before they even got it open, and there was gunfire exchanged with his security then on the new property where he's at now. How much of this until you'd be like, God dang. This is crazy. They don't have to deal with any of his security. He's right.
It's after Charlie Kirk is killed. Candace Owens is a fucking
I know, I backed up too far.
Scumbag.
Sorry.
She is a degenerate.
I apologize.
Cunt. She is burning everything down, and she's gloating and smiling while she does it. And you know what you fucking told me? She has no security. She doesn't fucking deal with the shit we have to deal with. She's a piece of shit. She's making everyone else suffer. And all of these fucking conservatives out there that send me these fucking messages have no fucking balls to call her out. More and more people have started doing it. They send me these fucking messages. Good for you, Tim. Good for you, Tim.
I hate people like that. Hey, K Candy, how many of you know somebody like that or grew up with somebody like that? Where something goes and you stand up, you do something, whatever it is. They go, yeah, good job, man, great. They come and support you as you put yourself in the way out there. When I don't care what it is, you start a business, you stand up against somebody saying something stupid or something. You're the guy not letting the little kid get his butt kicked at school just for the hell of it by some jackass, something. Where then they come later, they could have helped, they could have done something, but then later like, good job, buddy. Yeah, they're giving you a high five later. Or like now Tim says texting. Yeah, everybody knows people like that. And to me, that is the Republican Party. They are a bunch of, I call them the Republicans. C-A-N-T-S, cants. Because they do jack shit. Bunch of pussies. Everybody knows somebody like that, and doesn't that just piss you off? So imagine, once again, his family's being shot at, possibly, if they'd been on that property at that time. He's spending more money in security than this show makes. But, yeah. Yeah, good job, buddy. Yeah, great help. Great help.
I wasn't the first person to do it. I'm not going to take credit for that. But don't fucking DM me like I did something for you as you cower, scared that she'll put you on her thumbnail and claim you benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination, which he's doing to me right fucking now.
Yeah, that was
I'm fucking done with these people.
She has security, just not on the level of you.
Oh, yeah, the one fat guy you mentioned with no wall and no barrier in a suburban neighborhood with neighbors. She doesn't give two fucking shits. No one's out for her. She's lying about all of this. You told me you went to her house and she's got a 4-foot wall and one fat guy. And she doesn't give a shit about her security. Meanwhile, I get bullets fired at my fucking property and I have to go live in the middle of nowhere. And I got fucking strangers coming up to my house in Maryland, breaking in. I got people showing up and beating up the residents who try to live there. How the fuck am I even supposed to sell this property? And you know, it's all lies, it's all hypocrisy, and it is for the purpose of making money, and she does not live the way other people live.
What if it's not for making money? Once again, I am starting to wonder if Candace wants to be a cult leader. She thinks she's smarter than everybody. She thinks she's better than everybody. That smile, that shit-eating smile of hers says it. My opinion. What if she wants to be the cult leader? Charlie, she thought somehow TPUSA was going to be. She was going to be it. Ipso facto Queeno. They chose him because he was real. She hates that. She's now trying to build her cult again, and she's got to tear down everybody that didn't choose her before. What if? I'm not even sure it's about money. Yeah, Candace likes the money. She likes the popularity. She likes the eyeballs on her. She likes the adoration. Once again, seems cultish to me. I think she likes cult. All right, I'll talk to you guys real quick before I go back. Duping delight is what the smile is called. Okay. I just know it's always one of those smiles. Oh, my spyware, yeah. No, that's a freeware I've got, but there's another one I got on my computer that's a little better. That one just pops up once in a while. But yeah, duping delight. See, I didn't know that there was a name for it. I just know that, oh my God, it's just, well, I run a lot of VPNs and everything else too. It's just stupid. I don't like that type of smile. There's always that smile that made everybody's spidey sense tingle. You go, ugh. Ugh. All right. Welcome to WEF. If you sheep fall in live and fall for the program, we script a few. Go to sleep. 100%. Jimmy, I agree. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm thinking too small. Maybe it is the Davos World Economic Forum people. Maybe it's bigger than our deep state. But it seems very deep state CIA-ish, doesn't it? This is the shit the CIA pulls. This is the shit they've done in other countries. And remember, they've been doing this for a long time. They're good at this. We know for a fact they had, probably still do, back doors into all of our social media companies. They had offices in there. They were telling what them to put up and take down. That's probably how they helped switch the lefties 180 in a very rapid amount of time. No way that was done without help from a deep state governmental group of people. Maybe World Economic Forum is right, but I don't know. All right. K, no reply. By the way, Kay, I said, hi, how's it going? Oh, okay. Because they are not going to hurt their own. Duh. Well, I don't know. Not sure what you mean, Kay. I was going off a lot. Tell me what you mean by that, Kay. Candace only knew her husband for 18 days and never met in person. He proposed her over FaceTime and let that... Wow. Now, don't reply. I knew they knew each other barely at all. But I didn't know it was that... Holy crap. Yeah, and isn't he worth like $150 million himself as an type of CEO? I can't remember everything about him. But yeah, I didn't know it was 18 days. Holy crap. I know people told me it was really short. Holy heck. Hell, somebody even told me one time they think since her hubby is from the UK that there's some European Union stuff going on here or something else from over there. That's what it is. Once again, I'm running a little on tinfoil, guys, so apologize here. All right. No replies, so stuff like that happens all the time nowadays. That's just, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, okay. When you are a multi-millionaires, normally you don't just leap at somebody, especially from somebody from another country. That's a huge ask for splits, moves, whatever, laws, taxes. That's a huge thing even for multi-millionaires. That's a big deal. It was 18 days. Wow. Jimmy asks, is this a psyop? I lean that way a lot more. That's a psyop from World Economic Forum, Deep State, God knows, than I do that TPUSA did it. It seems more realistic. Just look at the crap the government's been doing to us the last 10, 12 years. Hell, how about since 9/11? How about just since 9/11, the shit our government's been doing to us? Remember, did people forget during the Obama administration how they got caught wiretapping twice? Wiretapping the phones of the world leaders we were friends with? These are our allies. They got caught wiretapping our allies, the president's phones, and some of their parliaments and whatever else phones. And then Obama, oh shit, he was able to dance out of that. And then they got caught doing it again. People have forgotten all about that crap. Our CIA, our government, we've got a problem. And it may be a psyop. Once again, Trump got through. You and I were never supposed to make a choice. We were told, here's the two dynasties you will vote for. The two dynasties that are in with the deep state. Jay Watterson, stop smiling. These are the two dynasties involved in the deep state. You get the Clinton dynasty, deep state loves them. You get the Bush dynasty, deep state loves them. Hell, Daddy was CIA. You get to choose one of these two. Either one, the deep state loves because it is their person. So you had a choice, deep state or deep state. That's it. We just label them different, but they're the same person pretty much. They were interchangeable. Trump got in there, said the right things on accident or whatever, and screwed their plan. You and I were never supposed to have had a Trump choice, let alone choose him. They screwed up once. 2020, they didn't let that happen. This time, got through again. The people paid attention so much. They were so aware because of what Trump was showing that they voted him in again. And now look what they're done. They've pulled out all the stops. Bullets through his ear. Other assassination attempts. Now they're going to take out the guy that was probably most responsible for getting him in there. They've gone full nuclear back to pull back their power. That's just what I'm seeing. And I know how Alex Jones I'm sounding. You guys that watch me know I don't normally go this way. Not like this level. So if I'm going this way, it's because I've been reading a lot, looking a lot, thinking a lot. I just think we're stuck. I think we are in some deep shit. If Candace isn't, and I'm not saying violently, YouTube, I'm saying if Candace isn't shut the fuck up, somebody doesn't stop her lying grift, I think we're screwed already. I think she's already done the damage. I'm not sure you're going to repair some of this. You add a few of Trump's actual missteps in there and fuck. In reply, reaching for what I stated facts is okay. You find that some situation where zero romantic interest, a conversation about it, occurred. I guess I'm reaching. Okay. Yeah, I like how you guys are talking between you, though. Yeah. Feel free. Okay, so that's what Kay was talking about. Okay. All right, sorry, Kay. Now I know what you were responding, no reply. You were replying to the guy you're not supposed to reply to. He sits on the board of GB News Network currently. Oh! GB News is one that's been kind of making waves in the UK for good things sometimes, but I don't know much more about them, but there's seen a few of their stories I actually liked. But damn. Or am I thinking the other one? I'm not sure. There's one of them over there that's actually been making some decent content lately. President Bullington Club, the same club that two major Rothschild. Oh. Hey, call me Ryan, thanks. What's up? How you doing, man? We've gotten pretty retarded if we think that TPUSA set up Charlie's assassination. Thank you. I totally agree. If you went back earlier, yes, I totally agree. I know Jay Watterson doesn't totally agree with me, but I think he agrees with me at least 50%. Am I right? I think. All right, let me see here. He may have got mad enough at me he left. I don't know. It's been a long time for him to be quiet. He may have gotten annoyed with me. All right, let me check over on Grumble. I got a couple of you over on Rumble. Thank you for stopping in. All right, let's see here. But yeah, Ryan, I totally agree with you, buddy. I couldn't agree more. The very fact of how many people that would have to be, and how many, if it was a power struggle, how many of them would come out with major stuff. All right. You know that Trump knew Charlie Kirk for all of Kirk's life. Kirk's dad was the managing architect of Trump Tower, New York City. No, but that would make sense. It seems like a lot of these people know each other one way or another. It's that 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon or whatever, you know. She done said only people can shut her up is Eric and her hubby. Ugh. Okay. I don't know, her hubby's not doing a very good job. Charlie brought people together, and the people who took over at TPUSA aren't. Yeah, 100%. Well, I don't think Jay Watterson, I don't think it's the people that took over so much. I think it's a power struggle. I think it's a big power struggle going on, and I'm not sure they know how to do it. I really don't think, even if the people who supported Kirk are in charge, I don't think they know what to do. Erica Kirk is not a polarizing figure. She doesn't have the gravitas that Charlie did. In fact, very few people on this planet have the gravitas, the intelligence, and the true belief that Charlie Kirk did. Whether it's true belief in God or the true belief in the people of this country or the country itself or Trump or the movement behind Trump. I think a lot of these people, even if they have that belief, they can't articulate it. They can't handle it well. They can't do in public what Charlie did. Charlie was able to reason things very well, whether you agreed with him or not. There's times I didn't agree with him. I'm not as extreme as him on some things. But Charlie was a singular individual. There are been people like that throughout time. And as Doctor Who, as they would say, Charlie Kirk was a fixed point in time. Just like Donald Trump someday. Donald Trump was a fixed point in time. Something in the universe that should not be changed or could not be changed without dire consequences. Doctor Who fans will love that. But that was Charlie Kirk. Somehow, somebody got through and screwed up something that was never meant to be changed or taken out. And I don't know if anybody else can fill those shoes or do what he did. I don't know if there's anybody that charismatic, that heavy of belief. He probably believed more than 90% of the people put together, even the people who supported him and believed in him. It's just they can't fill it. All right. No reply. Anyone wants her to shut up, it would be better if she stopped lying and getting her info from George Webb and Ian Carroll. Then she'd be fine. I don't know. No reply. I still think it's too coincidental that she did this all at once. That she went nuclear to destroy everything Charlie Kirk worked for. Everything. She's going against everything. You think Charlie Kirk, if he could come back down today, would go, good job, Candace? Do you really think that? You might actually see Charlie Kirk get actually mad. She's decimating everything he wanted, everything he worked for, everything he believed in. I don't think he'd be happy at all. I think even if these people are telling her something, she's going out looking for it. I'm going jilted lover, jilted cult leader. That's just what I'm getting anymore. I don't think everyone in the TPUSA was in on it. There were a few that gives the... Well, yeah, okay, there's always going to be people like that. There's always going to be some grifters involved, and even the best group out there. And sometimes you need an icky person to get certain jobs done. But I think there's just too many people. There's no way they could get enough help inside TPUSA without so many people involved, where somebody would be out yapping right now with some evidence. And Candace is not giving evidence, really. She's giving these little niblets here and there, but 99% of what she says is just assumptive language. Just like, once again, when she says, we don't care about your midterms, that is everything opposite what Charlie Kirk believed in. Those midterms, he said, were everything. He said those midterms were honestly the most important elections in this country's history, probably. Or at least he said in our lifetimes. He thought these were insanely important. She's doing the opposite. But she loved Charlie. We do not care about your midterms. They're not hers? Those aren't her midterms? Weird, huh? Watch her language. And the bullshit she made up about the FBI has responded to receiving the threat on me. Made everybody think that were doing something. She uses language. A lot of bullshit comes out of her mouth. Instead of Kamala's idiotic word salads, unfortunately, Candace is super intelligent, and she does very smart word salads. All right. Let's see. I don't think... one that gives me gross goosebumps, that dude that still plugged his book after watching his friend pass. Yeah, I agree with that, Kay. No replies. It was an absolute act of chaos. Yeah, I think it was on purpose. You got to take out Charlie Kirk, and then you go and take the rest of the dominoes down. Charlie Kirk was the support. That was it. You take him out, and the rest of the dominoes, you can flick them and knock them over easy. Charlie Kirk was blocking that first domino. He's blocking the rest of the dominoes. Take him out. Bink. There you go. I knew a man who took $2 million loan. He was rich during Y2K. He's definitely either Democrat or dumbass. He didn't understand paper would still be involved, yeah? Reply, I'm with you. I can't stand her at all. I think Candace had him unalived personally. By all my research, she's part of it. If she wasn't part of it, I'm going to say she is being run, or her handlers were part of it. How's that? How's that? Is that low enough on the tinfoil level? I don't know. Aluminum foil? Candace Owens is in on it, not TPUSA. I honestly agree with you. I know. Anybody? Here. In the chat. Thumbs up if you agree with No Reply and me. You think Candace Owens is more likely in on what's going on more than TPUSA. Thumbs down if you think TPUSA is more in on it. I'm just saying. And there's no wrong answer. You guys don't have to agree with me. No reply. Whatever. All the profit she's made. Oh, yeah. Candace Owens has profited more than any human. Actually, any group of people besides the Democrats for their power. She has profited insanely from Charlie Kirk's death. I mean insanely. Hey, and how much of that money she's donating to TPUSA? How much is she donating to any of the causes Charlie pushed? But she loved him so much. You would think this multi-millionaire, if she loved Charlie so much and God believed in Charlie, some of that money would go to causes he supported? Yeah, exactly. She has profited hugely. A tax write-off for legal fees. Yeah, you're right. So many people at TPSA want to literally jump into Charlie's chair. Zip tie. I don't think they killed him. There can always be somebody jealous, somebody else that would like to be in the spotlight. There's not anybody I know that wants to be in the spotlight more than Candace Owens. Candace loves to be in that spotlight. TPSA not making money off it? There's the internet making money. Yeah. Yeah, TPUSA is losing money hand over fist. Once again, Candace Owens went on and told people to not only stop donating, but to demand their money back. That is destroying everything Charlie did. Even if you say some people at TPUSA, no, what about all the people that weren't? That is insanity. That is blatantly and openly saying, I will tear it all down. You people chose Charlie Kirk over me. Now I'm going to destroy you. I was never. By the way, Candace, I still think is a liberal. I think she's a lefty, and she's been playing games. She swayed wherever the money was, wherever, I don't know. Let's go full there. Let's go full hat. She went wherever her handlers told her to and when. How's that? It's always Candace, Candace, Candace. Yes. At this point, it is Candace, Candace, Candace. She has put herself in everything. She has said absolutely insane shit. She uses presumptive language. She's catering to the true crime podcast group. So yeah, it's Candace, Candace, Candace. Oh, jeez. TPUSA hasn't made nothing out of this, Kay. TPUSA is losing their shirt. TPUSA is going broke. TPUSA may not be here next year. That's not making money. They're losing it. People that got rich, were making a living at TPUSA, are losing everything right now. I'm betting there's not much of a chance. If they're still around this time next year, it won't be anywhere near the level they are now. They're going to be relegated. They've already been relegated to a backwater type organization without Charlie. One man can be that important. Charges $1 per live view on air ad read, and she reads her ads after 150K live viewers, yeah? $3,500 a day for super chats alone. Yeah, just super chats, let alone the ad reads and everything else. Yep, plus then all the back shows they show. There's a lot of, she's making plenty. People do ad reads in their shows all the time. Why can't she? I didn't say she couldn't. But her doing this grift has amped her viewer level up. And think about how many viewers she's getting compared to what she was. Think of the price increase she can demand. Think of who will flock to her to try to get eyes on their stuff now. Yeah, so she's raking it in. Besides all the donations, super chats, yeah, shitloads more money. Shitloads more eyes, and shitloads, if she likes that attention, be a cult leader, she's got it. Everything does lead to Candace, Candace, Candace at the moment. And Milo. All right. It's not $3,500 a day for super chats, it's more than that, by the way. TPSA's 501c. It's my way to make money from the donations that Kirk brought in. People make a living there. They're not going to make a living anymore. A 501c company, in a way, cannot make money, but the people living there have to working there have to make a living. They were making fuck you good money. They had good jobs, did something, and now they're not. People got rich there. Charlie Kirk became a millionaire off it. People thinking a company that's a 501c, nobody can make money there. No, that's not true. People running it make money. They get good wages. They make money. They were all millionaires because of Charlie Kirk. Now they're going to lose possibly everything. 501c is the absolute worst way to launder money. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Delaware is almost like strangely, Delaware, where Biden's from, is almost like the Ukraine of the United States. Huh. Seems weird, doesn't it? I know how to do math, Candy. It's over 150K. 50,000 a day times days a week. Plus, yeah. Plus, once again, you got ad reads, super chats. There's tons of other ways shows make money. Sponsorships. That's not just ad reads. There's sponsorships. There's people that join. You do channel memberships. There's a lot of ways to make money. Yeah. Yeah, Candace is raking in money. Now, if you go back and look, these guys all throwing out the numbers. Go back and look at her numbers before Charlie died. Go look at those numbers. Nowhere near where they are now. She has amped up 5-10 times, is what some people have told me, since then. So that's just what they're saying. Yeah, go look at their math. And if you can, I don't know where to find it, but go back and look at what she was making before Charlie died and look at it now. Anybody in a court of law would go, that person had a reason to see him gone. Who's profiting off it? And once again, woman scorned. Candace Owens retweets for $500. Jesus. It's true that Charlie hasn't been buried yet? I don't think so. If he hasn't been buried yet, it's because they're worried about lefties digging him up or damaging the grave or doing something like that. And they might. I don't know. Honestly, Jay Watterson, I do not know on that one, buddy. That is one. How about this? I pass you my aluminum foil that I have left. What do you think on that one? Honestly. I do not know. I saw that and I was like, boy. Yep, that 700,000 is just on the air reads, not including all the views. Yeah. She gets insane amounts. Plus, by the way, she also makes money off X. She makes money off YouTube and Kick and Spotify, Apple. She's making it everywhere. And on all these platforms, her viewership has skyrocketed since Charlie. She had the most to profit. Who had the most to lose? We did. He's buried in Arizona shortly after passed away. Is a fact. I won't post the address unless you really... No. Don't post the address. You're fine. But I bet they were worried about that. All right. We'll continue here, guys. I know this is going to be a long video tonight, so I appreciate you hanging out. We're going to try to be out of here in the next 40 minutes. We'll see how it goes. I'm trying to keep it around 2 hours.
And she claims she liked
Right,
Charlie.
back
She
up just a
loved
little.
Charlie with no wall and no barrier in a suburban neighborhood with neighbors. She doesn't give two fucking shits. No one's out for her. She's lying about all of this. You told me you went to her house and she's got a 4-foot wall and one fat guy. And she doesn't give a shit about her security.
Sorry, that was
Meanwhile, I
funny.
get bullets fired at my fucking property, and I have to go live in the middle of nowhere. And I got fucking strangers coming up to my house in Maryland, breaking in. I got people showing up and beating up the residents who trying to live there. How the fuck am I even supposed to sell this property?
He's
And,
right.
you know, it's all lies. It's all hypocrisy, and it is for the purpose of making money. And she does not live the way other people live. And she claims she liked Charlie, she loved Charlie, and she is burning everything down that he built because
100%.
she is evil. She is evil. And I'll say it again, this conservative movement is fractured, it's fried, whatever it is. Okay?
Yeah, it is.
Republicans are on track to lose the midterms.
Big time now.
They were actually trending the other direction until Charlie Kirk was murdered.
It was up to 50-50, and they were rising still. The trends, even the betting odds, were then saying the Republicans were going to win the midterms. They were going to buck the trend and win. The betting odds were there. That is where people put their money where their mouth is. That is much more better than the standard polls. The betting odds really are where people were going to put their wallets involved. Now, it's almost a shoo-in they're going to lose. Unless Trump really pulls a whole herd of rabbits out of his hat.
Yeah.
And this is the point, isn't it? The most effective political assassination in history, and thanks to the likes of the vile cunt Candace Owens, she has turned Turning Point into the perpetrators of the crime that was against them.
Yep.
I don't get paid by any of these people. I'm not on good terms necessarily with Turning Point USA. They didn't invite me to their stupid event. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. They invited me back after I started criticizing Candace. I'm not going to your event. I'm over all of this shit. The last thing that I need to deal with is a bunch of cowards in conservative media refusing to stand up to her.
They do.
Megyn
They're
Kelly,
wimps.
come on. I appreciate the kind words, but come on. Such fucking pathetic bullshit. You know, and I get people saying, Tim, you know, thank you so much for talking about it. I don't care. I'm not doing a favor for anybody. I'm not doing this to benefit anybody. Nobody's paying me. There's no fucking Russia. There's no fucking Israel. There's just me sticking my neck out and then risking dying for what? A bunch of cowards?
He's right. And think about this. I've seen some people, well, Tim is faking. Really? Bullets were fired at his home, at his property. It's happened before. He's been swatted. His show's been shut down. They've attacked residents on his last piece of property. Taking out skate parks when he tried to do something like that. Come on. He has been friendly and helped out the Trump movement, conservatives like crazy, and none of them will have the balls to stand up. Yet then they want to, come on. He is burning bridges right now with frig loads of these people. Where a lot of them are not even going to want to talk to him anymore, help him, come on his show, nothing. Tim is isolating himself a little bit right now. And doesn't show or get angry like this over nothing. Rarely does he do that, let alone go to this level. So I do not believe Tim is faking this. This is true belief. He is truly goddamn angry, and he's goddamn tired of the cowardice around him, around the Trump movement right now, around conservatives, around Republicans. And this is what the chat on Jeremy's channel, the D-Day Cobra, was missing. They're calling Tim a pussy. Really? Where is everybody else? If Tim is a pussy, where is everybody else? Where are the other prominent conservatives, Republicans, the prominent Trump supporters? Where are the prominent people that should be helping, should be putting word out? Where is Megyn Kelly or anybody else to really stand up and say this is bullshit? No. They'll all contact him privately or in a little tweet. Oh, they were so horrible what happened to Tim. No. So half of Jeremy's chat, half of everybody out there's missing that. Tim's a wiener for thinking about quitting. Tim's a wiener. No, Tim's a weenie. Really? Where's everybody else? If he's a weenie, everybody else is just a I don't even have the right words. Anything I go into might be what YouTube would call gamer words that I'm going to get pulled for. There are words you say on YouTube. Once again, if Tim Pool's the wiener, what does that make everybody else? Yeah. All right. Let's see. I'll keep going. I don't have a lot farther on this part of it, I don't believe.
They don't want to stand up to protect themselves. People like fucking Candace Owens.
I couldn't believe that she put you in the thumbnail.
What a fucking cunt.
Of her piece today.
I'm done.
The idea that she'd imply
done.
that you had some benefit or that you benefit somehow.
She benefited. I think she's a Fed, and I think she killed Charlie.
Woo! That's the one thing right there that is insanely huge. That is huge. I mean, why not? If she can just say shit, not throw out anything, just, now come on, Candace, disprove it. That's what she does. She says shit to people, and now they're supposed to just disprove her bullshit. There's no way to win doing that, so now Tim just did the same thing to her. Now, come on, tell us how you are not a Fed, Candace. He just kind of used her own language against her.
You had some benefit or that you benefit somehow.
She benefited. I think she's a Fed, and I think she killed Charlie.
Wow.
No one benefited more than her. And now she is, when you look at what's stopping us from winning in 2026 right now, what the biggest threat and the biggest fear we have is, it is the disarray on the right. It is the fracturing of the coalition of all the different voices that came together and stopped the neoliberal bullshit liberal economic order machine that was coming out and telling everybody to chop their dicks off and that you had to get fucking injected or get locked in your house. And here we have a coalition resisting and rejecting that. Charlie Kirk dies, and he's not perfect. He loved Israel. Some people don't like that, but he certainly did organize a movement that brought people together, that helped get Trump elected, helped Republicans win, and resisted what the Democratic Party had been doing and these psychopath institutions. I don't want to go back to COVID. Does everybody remember what that was like? When you were locked in your home, you had to wear 2 masks, and you couldn't go anywhere unless they stuck you in the arm. And the only resistance we had was these feckless loser Republicans who've got nothing done over the past year.
Nope, they've done nothing. Look at the Republicans have done. Trump is out there putting himself in front of bullets. Almost getting himself put in jail for hundreds of years. He may still end up going to jail someday. Lost billions of dollars doing all this. That man could have done anything else. But do the Republicans even go, let's codify some of this into law? What Trump is doing, let's get it into law so the Democrats can't just say, fuck it, in a little bit. No, they do nothing. They've done zero. They're not fixing any of the Biden era shit and putting in Trump stuff at all. The stuff we voted for. Nothing. They're sitting there with a thumb in their ass. That's why I've been screaming uniparty. It's bullshit. And I think Tim may be right. Tim said it right there, no reply. You should be damn happy because he said it. He said it. I didn't want to blow it earlier when you said it, but yeah, he said it. I watched earlier when he said it live, and you're doing that. I'm having a hard time not just going, ah. Yeah. Tim Pool's always been pretty good and has solid takes. He's a good guy. I agree for the most part. I've said on this channel, I agree with Tim Pool about 60, maybe 70% of the time. Between 60 and 70%. The other 30 to 40% of the time, I'm like, if I don't agree with him, may not disagree with him totally. But when I disagree with him, it's nuanced. But there's very few times I've disagreed with him totally. There's been a few times Tim has done some stupid shit where I'm like, come on. But that's everybody. Come on. Everybody. Yeah, Tim normally doesn't go off half-cocked, quarter-cocked, insane like this unless he is absolutely angry. And I think being a father and a husband has made him just to the point where, Jesus Christ, he doesn't know. This is new feelings. Protective. He's got other people to worry about than himself. I'm not saying he didn't worry about the staff around him and his friends, but my God, your wife and your child is a different thing. And now he sees the country where his wife and his child may have to live someday, going to be fucked up. That's gotta scare him. What is he thinking for the future of his child? Well, there's a lot of you got to be thinking about your kids. Yeah. Not good. Phil Labonte is struggling to be relevant on the show, especially on Friday. I actually disagree. Jay Watterson, you and I disagreed about this a lot. I think Phil's actually really good to the show. Phil makes a lot of... He doesn't talk as much at times, but Phil makes a lot of sense. I think Phil is a better stand-in for Tim than what's his name, Tate. I don't think Tate has got the charisma or the gravitas of room temperature glass of water. And I don't think he has the grasp of concepts enough to drink that water. I disagree. I think Phil is actually pretty good. I think sometimes he doesn't know what to say. But I know I don't know if you saw tonight's show. Phil does not like this numerology guy at all. There's an area of this show, I recommend you go watch it. Phil went after that dude. I can't remember if it was on the normal IRL or it was the after show. I cannot remember. But man, he went after him. Tim kind of went after him too, though. So you got to give him some good cred for that. Tim is smart, has access to deep research. Like, I'm saying, all things point to Candace. I've been saying this for a month. No reply, and I'm going to bet you got there before I did. I was wondering what the fuck, but then I started paying attention. I got some friends around me going, dude, you need to be looking over here. Look at what she's doing. And it really started to wake me up to pay attention and talk with a couple friends and then start reading and just watching. And then her presumptive language. She played people. I have been doing that on this channel ever since I restarted. Even on the old Potato News Network channel and on Tough Topics. I would always tell people, watch the wording, watch language. She plays people. She talks like a PSYOPs person. She really does. So, yeah. Yep. No, you're fine, no reply. Dude, my thumbs, I don't know who designed the keyboards on these things. My thumbs are big enough it wants to hit 3 buttons at once. So I understand. Even if you're typing, I'm not a big typer. I don't peck, but I'm not a great typer. So I know, don't worry, man. I get it. If you notice, I read it right. Oh, you should watch it. Especially if you have a Rumble account and have access to the after show. I know there's a part where Tim was annoyed with this numerology guy more than once, but Phil had it with his ass. Phil, you could tell Phil did not like him, and I like Phil. I know Jay and the Waters ain't gonna disagree, but I like Phil. The Penske file. Ooh, I like that. Nicely done. Trump is the shepherd who may be the wolf. It's all about the digital currency slavery. Yeah, except Trump is against a United States digital dollar. Remember the Biden administration and the Biden administration handlers were trying to get rid of all of our cash. They were trying to push us into a U.S. digital-only currency system. Trump says that will never happen under him. Whether or not he has some crypto or does his own crypto stuff, that's one thing. But he's not forcing you and me to do that. So, welcome. And if I translate what you're saying right, I kind of disagree. Trump is not pushing us to digital currency. He says we will never get rid of the dollar and cash money under him and force everybody onto a digital-only currency with a China-style system where you don't agree with the government. You may not be going to the movies or getting gas or groceries this week. But welcome. Thank you very much for stopping in, and thank you for the comment. All right, guys, do me a favor. I know I haven't asked at all this whole stream, but please hit thumbs up. I do appreciate that. You don't have to subscribe. As I always tell people, if you can come back 3 times, I make you laugh, cry, cuss, be mad, walk away going, what the absolute crap did I just watch? Then please subscribe. All right. Let me check Rumble. Well, still 3 people over Rumble. Thank you very much, Rumblers. Appreciate it. Feel free to join in. That is a link to the YouTube chat up at the top of the Rumble chat for you guys. All right, so let's go on a little more here.
And now Charlie Kirk was murdered. And we say, holy crap, what do we do? How do we keep things together? And Candace, with a smile on her face, and Ian Carroll and all the rest of them say, Turning Point did it to themselves. They destroyed themselves. Pull your donations because they work for Israel. Even Nick Fuentes calling it out, saying this is psychotic.
Yep.
So when we lose in the midterms and the Democrats bring back their panels and their subpoenas and they start arresting people like they had already done in the past 4 years, and then we get whatever the equivalent of lockdowns is going to be, and you get President Gavin Newsom, you can mark it all back to this moment when you had evil stand, scream, and cowards refuse to do anything.
With all due respect, always, every single president loses in midterms.
And guess what?
Every single one.
The prediction markets showed that it was near 50-50
Based
on the political swing that we had seen.
Republicans were rising. They were at 50-50 and rising. The betting odds were starting to show they were going to win the midterms. Now they show they are absolutely fucked. And if they're fucked, so are we.
Gen Z, the first generation in 100 years to tick slightly rightward in some areas, not all, but some. And this was a big moment because while they were very similar to millennials, they were slightly more conservative in some areas. Yeah. And we saw that in the past couple of years, Gen Z was actually skewing away from LGBTQIA issues. How is this happening? It is not only nor solely, but largely Charlie Kirk and his work with Turning Point. And so Turning Point certainly has its issues, but there's literally no reason to burn it to the ground. Unless, of course, it makes you famous and rich.
Yeah.
You know? So
famous and rich, or the leader. You decimate the people that turned you down to be their leader. You chose Charlie. That's it. You will pay. Woman scorned.
I guess by all means. My issue right now is
people are shooting at you. That's obviously your
certainly
issue. 100%. But we lost Charlie Kirk. You're thinking about, taking off in the sunset. Who we got left? So Charlie's gone.
Candace Owens. Congratulations.
Okay, we got Candace Owens too.
Good. So you can spin around with your dick in your hand while you sound like a retard to the average person, and then Democrats win.
Yep.
I mean, but you're taking off.
Yeah, you know why? Because people are not. When I get private texts and messages saying like, "Oh yeah, I agree with you, but I would never dare say anything," I'm like, I'm not doing this.
That's where I'm gonna give Tim a little bit of a shot, though. At least you have the money for security. There are much, much smaller people out here talking on the internet, no matter which platform, Kick, BitChute, Rumble, doesn't matter, talking. All it takes is you piss off one lunatic. We also don't have properties with security, backwoods properties. A lot of us are touchable and findable. So I will say, if I'm going to say anything to Tim, I'll disagree is Tim, hey, if there are thousands and thousands and thousands of what you would call small to super tiny creators out there still standing in that brink, maybe that should bolster you. That maybe Tim isn't totally alone. There are small people out there trying to wade through the horrible areas of this crap who live in big cities, small cities, medium cities, who don't have the separation you do. We're still willing to do it. I'm not talking myself up. I know I'm the pinprick on the end of nothingness. So, yeah.
You know, my whole life, I have had a disdain for those who demand others work for them. Now, I hold on for a minute. Like, I understand we all work for each other. I'm saying, I remember when I was younger, I was like, we're in Chicago, I skateboard, but there's nowhere to skate in the winter. So what do we do? What do we do? Well, holy crap, I figured something out. If 10 of my friends come together and put $100 down every month, we can actually rent a warehouse. And you know what they all said? You do it and then let me know and I'll think about it.
Yep.
And that's the world, and that's what people do.
Yep. I've been there. When my business partner got cancer, I worked for the shop that he had owned for a long time. He got cancer. What did everybody do? Oh, we got to do something. Maybe we should, put some money in and buy into it and get the shop going, or put some of our own money in. Yeah, well, guess what? I did it. I took and put my car that I already paid off up on a loan in the bank. And then some of my own money on my own bank account to keep the business going for my business partner so he would have cancer treatments. Without the shop, he had no insurance. He'd probably be dead today. Not tooting my own horn, but yeah, I agree with what Tim says. A lot of people say, hey, why don't we do this? Or, ooh, we should do this. Or, God, what are we going to do? We got to do something. Yeah, you got to stand up. I did that. And then he made me business partner, which I paid him some more money to buy it as a partner, but he was grateful. Grateful as hell. But some people step up, some don't. And Tim's right. A lot of people will tell you, come on. Yeah. All right, let me catch up here real quick. Bunny told me I was allowed to hit the thumbs up. I did. Well, that is very magnanimous of you. Bunny will not punish you too heavily. Jimmy, I got distracted by the 12th FBI agents fired for kneeling for George Floyd and had to be a troll. I don't know. I don't know if any FBI agents got fired for kneeling George Floyd. At least not back in the day, unless they got fired afterwards, after Trump came in. In fact, I haven't seen enough of the border agents that help traffic kids in get fired. I haven't seen the Capitol Police who helped J6 get fired. How about hunting down the fact that we know the FBI had, 220 undercover people in that crowd? But enough they were so obvious, some people were yelling, Fed, 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 and pointing at people. Guys happen to be wearing the same boots, same pants, the same watches? Seems weird. All right. That's it. Siri, what are the directions in the Quad Cities? Yeah. Thankfully, the Quad Cities is good sized. But anybody could find me if they really wanted to. I'm not Tim Pool. I don't have the separation. I guess I could disappear out to my family's property, which would be a very bad idea if anybody else went out to where my parents' property is. Woof. That is redneck land. Besides the fact that a police officer lives next door, and they have dogs and everything else out there. Jackson, initiate Order 66 2.0. There you go. Now they're suing Patel for being fired. Of course they are. Of course they are. And they depend on all these lefty judges. And the judges that aren't lefties are right-leaning pussies. Once again, just like a lot of Republicans. Republican judges are wieners. People go, oh, that was a Trump judge or that was a Bush judge. Doesn't mean nothing. These are the Republicans. They scream for power. The judges are the same way. They scream for power and don't want to use it. If you want proof, look at SCOTUS. Why haven't they just come out and ruled? The Second Amendment is what it is. It is good in all 50, like your marriage, like your driver's license. Reciprocity is in the Constitution. The Second Amendment is the number 2 amendment. If your driver's license and your marriage is good, why is your fucking Second Amendment not good in every state? And why is it limited like crazy from one city to county in each state? Second Amendment. SCOTUS will not rule. No, piecemeal little rulings here and there. All right. Suing Patel. Good luck. All right.
So when people message me saying I wouldn't dare speak up against Candace, I'm just like, oh, fuck off, dude. Coward. But to the people that have started speaking out, calling her out, good.
Who?
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter.
Oh, I'm really asking you guys, who? Who else besides Tim is really calling her out? Besides my dumb, little, stupid ass. I mean, who are the other bigger, prominent people really calling her out anywhere near this level? Anywhere near the level of Tim. I can't say near my level because I'm so small nobody hears me anyway. I'm just yelling in the dark.
The end. It doesn't really matter. And then she can say whatever she wants. She can do whatever wackaloon shows she wants. The fact that she put me on her thumbnail today, titled "Who Benefited from Charlie Kirk's Death," whether she's retarded, I don't think she is, or doing it intentionally, it doesn't matter. The message is clear. You speak up against her, and she will sick people on you.
100%. And Jay Waters said, you're right. Nick Fuentes did. Nick Fuentes, whether you agree with it or not, at least he's got the balls to do it. It's only illegal if you get caught. Yeah. Yeah, Nick Fuentes has. Even Crowder was a little... Normally, he's a little more energetic, shall we say, when it comes to Candace. He's been a little muffled on this compared to what I would thought.
Is that the purpose?
That was the
I
whole
called
point.
her out.
Absolutely, that was the point. The reason she put you on the thumbnail was because you had the audacity to call her out. It was
and no one else would.
retaliation.
And people don't. And so many people don't. Like when Ben Shapiro was on with Megyn Kelly, and Megyn Kelly deferred and then said, well, I don't know, well, and demurred, and then later came out and said, Candace never said that. It's like, you know what, man? She can say every which way a million times, but never directly say it for plausible deniability.
Was that assumptive language, I believe, again?
Yep.
As if we're retarded. It's what a stupid world to live in. So listen, it's not just about her. She comes up because she, I guess there it is. She put me on her thumbnail. She's a piece of trash.
Well, not just that. She said some shit on X. Now, Jay Waters, I don't know what your posts are. I haven't a chance to open them. But I have a couple up here, trust me, on X that she said about Tim's rant tonight. So that might have been what you posted, knowing you.
We have death threats against us consistently.
Mm-hmm.
For too long, we don't talk about it. Now, the problem is the one thing we talked about in October was I think we're one of the few shows that actually invites the public to come. Not like literally anyone in the public, but we probably send out address, location 5 times a day to various people who are booking on this show. Well, for that, we are more likely to get doxxed. I don't know how.
Especially since Tim doesn't only invite people that agree with him. He invites people that kind of agree or totally disagree with him. Somebody totally disagrees with him, gets their ass kicked on his show verbally. There have been a few leftards got their ass handed to them. Maybe they shared it out to some other crazy damn ass people on the left. That's just me. We're not going to go much farther on this, guys, because we are going to talk a little back. Actually, that's about a good place to stop. But I don't know. He called her a fed. He called her out. And you probably, Jay Waters, you're probably right. They probably are, because I swear you've got a bug in my computer or reading my mind. You're a little scary at times. All right. Jimmy, a grain of thought to anyone you trust, never call 911. Always call 811 before you dig. I don't know. Let's see here. All right. We're going to have a couple. We're going to do a little Milo. All right. But yeah, here's Candace. This is Tim's rant. We heard some of that just now. And it starts right here. I cannot explain it, but I sense that this isn't actually about me, that Tim Pool's under tremendous financial pressure. He's not as rich as Candace, but he's goddamn rich. He's a multi-millionaire. If IRL is probably the one thing he actually loses money on, between that and his crazy security because of it. But he's a multi-millionaire. Tim ain't going broke. So that's her taking a shot at him. And here's another one. Men behave a certain way when they are under economic pressure. And I feel like he's just lashing out and I happen to be here. Shut the fuck up. It's not because you happen to be there. because you're spouting insane shit. And Tim is right. You are driving wedges in between everything in the Republican and conservative and MAGA side right now at a time that is the worst ever to do so. And they're doing it so completely and with glee. That shit-eating smile she gets at you, that shit-eating grin that you're just thinking, God, somebody wipe that off her face. I'm saying wipe, YouTube. It's not a friggin' threat. Wipe it off. How's that? You know, like the same thing Hillary used to wipe her hard drives. You know, bleach bit. You happen to be there? No. You've shoved yourself there. Everywhere. You are tearing down, he's right, you are tearing down everything Charlie Kirk is doing. You see how, notice what she does here? Once again, her language. She doesn't say anything about what Tim says. In this clip here, he says a lot of the stuff we just talked about. She doesn't say anything about it. She doesn't refute it, doesn't give arguments, nothing. She keeps herself away from it in case later she can, once again, go, well, I didn't say anything, or I didn't say I didn't do that. She keeps herself clear. She says something without saying anything. And totally change it to something that makes no fucking sense. This is just going, yeah, see, Tim is just being a little shithead. Not what he's doing. On that note, I genuinely hope, whatever it is, he gets through it. You bitch. But I can guarantee that blaming the future 2026 GOP midterm results on Candace Owens is not the solution. Why not? Why not? Then refute what he said in the clip you shared. She won't. It is very heavily, not 100%, I'm going to give Candace 75 to 80% of the blame. She is probably the biggest wedge that is going to cost the GOP the midterm. Yeah. And remember, she said, we don't care about your midterms. She's willing to see not only Turning Point USA burn down, she's willing to see America burn down. She doesn't care. And that means she doesn't think she's part of the group, conservative, MAGA, whatever, that is about to be decimated when it does go wrong. She's clear. That's why she says, we don't care about your midterms. Because she ain't one of that side. She's fine. She knows it. Think about that. She is 100% not part of your midterms. Not part of the midterms that's going to keep us from going to hell. And we are going to. If the midterms go, everything Trump was going to get done is over. Impeachments, bullshit. Oh boy. And then she goes on. He is genuinely not well. She just shares another little clip of what we played already. And doesn't go and actually refute or give arguments against what he said. He is genuinely not well right now. I wouldn't turn this into a cheap internet moment. Really? You've done that. You have dang well done. Actually, no, you've turned it into an expensive internet moment. Expensive as in you're pulling in money, and expensive for the rest of us because the rest of us out here are going to have to cash or going to have to pay the check that you're writing, bitch. We have to pay the check you are writing. You are writing a check for America that the rest of us are going to have to handle. Yep. Great. Thanks. There is just so clearly something personal going on in his life. Actually, that sounds like what Democrats do. Democrats like to accuse you of what they're doing. That's a well-known thing that Democrats do that. That's what she just did. There's clearly something going on something personal going on in his life. Yeah, no. That right there says it's Candace that's got something going on in personal life. She is the jilted lover or the jilted cult leader. She's got something personal going on. And that right there to me is maybe tinfoil hat warning. That right there is lefty speech or deep state speech right there. It's hard to run a business and he's under pressure. But me, the Candace girl, I'm amazing. I can just sit there with that shit-eating grin on my face. Pray he comes through it. Ugh. Spare me your fake platitudinous bullshit. Oh my God. I am a retard blue-collar auto mechanic with dodgy lungs and low oxygen levels. And I can see that for what it is. Some of that almost seems like a veiled threat. A lot of the rest of it is just ha 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 ha. Ugh. My God. What a piece. I'm not going to watch any. I'll pull that up for my other computer, but I'll have to check it later. Because I am trying to keep this under a certain time, but Tim does. I don't know. I find myself disagreeing with Tim. To a scary. Oh, you shared the whole link. Okay, thanks, man. Or is that? Which one is that? Oh, I even watched Luke Rudkowski earlier. One of his videos, and man, he says a lot too without saying a lot sometimes. All right, let's see here. Still got my 3-4 people on Rumble. Thank you. Hey, for Rumble this late, that's amazing. All right. Sorry, Jay Watterson. I'm getting a little bit woofed here. I'm running out of my drink, and I still got breathing treatments to do yet tonight. Heard of wild hogs can devour somebody in 8 minutes. Just saying. Yep. Damn, Jimmy. Sounds like you grew up in an area where I did. Yeah, that was one of those things where working on farms as a kid, I remember the farmer was saying, never, ever fall down right in the middle of the pan around these pigs. You will never get back up. It's like, shit. Unless if you separate the parts. I'm lazy, so that's a hell no. Wood chipper go brrr, yeah. Of course, I've always said that about the horror films. You beat a guy and he gets back up because he comes back, you can't end him. Run him through, this is a movie, YouTube. These aren't real humans. I'm talking about horror films like characters like Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger. Look them up. They're not real people. They're fictional. But if I was in a horror film and I got Freddy down, Jason, Michael Myers, or whatever, wood chipper go brrr, then I'm feeding them to some pigs. Let them reform and regrow after that crap. Just saying. If you ever find yourself caught in a horror film. I live in the country next to swamps. If you look up the Quad Cities, you can see how surrounded the Quad Cities actually is by backwoods, farms, stuff like that. We have a very big river here. Actually, we have two big rivers here, the Rock River and the Mississippi. And I grew up out past Andalusia, Illinois. I grew up there's islands out there in the slough. So you know what I mean? All right. Gators get hungry. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, but one, I don't want to subject a gator to rancid flesh of a horrid person. Some people are so dark and nasty inside. I would feel bad for the gator. Anyone ever wonder why aliens don't visit? Boy, we can get into that. I'm a big fan of space sciences. I'm a moron at it, but I'm a big fan. I will say this, just quickly, because I can't help myself. People talk about distance in space, why aliens haven't been here. There's another problem. Nobody ever mentions this. Time. I had somebody ask me, what do you mean time? The Earth has been around for what? A billion, let's say 800 million years. Let's just say that. Our planet is technically kind of young compared to the rest of the universe. The rest of our galaxy even. Civilizations could have rose and fell thousands of times before we ever got here. What if we're in a lull of life in our galaxy? We formed after so many civilizations rose and fall. Federation of planets rose and fell. The United Federation of Planets lived for 5,000 years and been gone now. What if they lived for 30,000? But the galaxy is 800 million years old. We are a tiny, 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 tiny pinprick, like my channel, on the speck of time. So time, maybe the big thing, not distance. All right, that's it. Sorry, I can really get on to that stuff. Woof. I'll bet Earth is like the slums. You're right. You're right, they might. Or, if you know where we're at in the galaxy, we are kind of not in the slums. We are the redneck ghetto area of the galaxy. We're out, I believe, in the outer end of the Sagittarius arm, if I remember right. And we're actually in a very low populated part of that Sagittarius arm. So we are BF way out. We are like, you got to turn off the paved road, to find our galaxy, to find our solar system. Wow, my time turned back to, I only set it for 2 hours. But yeah, we are you got to turn off the paved road to get to their solar system. So we're kind of out there. Look up Shep's Goods from Montana. They had some good human jerky. Oh my God, what? Okay, that's scary. Don't do that. Jimmy, now you just frightened me. Soylent Green, yes. Dude, now, God dang it. You're God, mentioned that movie more than once. I want to watch it again. Thanks, dude. All right, so that's a little bit on that. Now, just quickly, Milo, Chaos Agent number 2. You look at all the things Milo's done. He's done some goofy shit at the wrong time for the best of maybe America and certain people. I don't know. I think Tim is kind of blind to Milo in a way. I mean, Milo was involved with Kanye in that BS he pulled in Tim's studio. Remember that? So, I don't know. Far-right influencer Milo Yiannopoulos alleged that Benny Johnson, Charlie Kirk, and other top MAGA leaders are closet homosexuals. He also said he tried to backpedal just enough to say, well, I don't know if they were underage. But he's saying Benny Johnson was in hotel rooms with boys. Yike. And Benny Johnson is one of the big influences, whether you like him or not. And sometimes, I've said it before on this channel, Benny Johnson gives me a used car salesman type vibe. Not as bad as Sean Hannity. Sean Hannity gives me the used car salesman vibe mixed with 5 levels of ick. But Benny Johnson's eyes gives me the used car salesman vibe, but he is big in MAGA and big on the right, and he's really a big influencer, and now Milo just happens to pull on him and try to bring him down. At the same time, Candace is driving her wedges in. Either he feels left out, and he's got to be a chaos agent, he's trying to catch up to her, or, god dang coincidence again. All right, here we go.
One of the most distinctive things about the right wing in this country is its homosexual overtones. Benny Johnson posts pictures of his children every 2 days. It's weird. And everybody knows what went on with Benny Johnson in those lobbies and in those hotel rooms at SAS. Everybody knows.
I don't. No.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Men. Younger men, not underage. At least I don't know that.
Look, I backpedal. At least not underage. I don't know that.
His wife was crying drunk in the lobby 3 sasses in a row about how her husband was upstairs with boys.
Come on.
Like, go Oscar.
Come on.
Go ask her.
Come on, Milo.
Go ask her.
Milo, aren't you ever
And the
scared of getting sued? You say
Yeah,
some
let me-
crazy.
let me-
I'm sitting here like
Yeah,
I am humbled by the lore
let me tell you-
and your ability.
The
to
audacity,
just,
just,
like, I mean, like, there's
you
no
know,
teapots in this room right now to express how I feel.
George, I have said these things about people for 20 years and never once in my career been sued.
I actually think that's wrong. I think he has been sued. I don't think they were successful because he words just enough. Once again, Milo is another person that is smart as shit, but he's a loony. I don't know about lunatic, but he's loony. He knows how to word and do just enough to keep himself from getting successfully sued. How's that? But I'm sure he's been sued a few times, if I remember right, but not successfully. He knows just enough how to do stuff, how to say things, to dance.
I've issued 3 corrections in my entire journalistic career because I get my facts right, and people know that they do not want to go through discovery.
Doesn't mean you got your facts right. Just means people don't want to engage with your bullshit, or you worded just enough where the law couldn't do anything. All that means is you know how to word things. It's like people go, well, the Better Business Bureau gives this company an A+. If you know how the Better Business Bureau works, you wouldn't put much stock in that. Just saying. Just saying.
Actually, I want to say this.
I've never been sued for anything I've ever said about anyone.
The one thing I can, I need to say this. I need to say this.
Because I'm right.
The most terrifying thing about Milo.
I don't know. Benny says he's thinking about it. I don't know. Then it goes on here. Cat Turd. One of my favorite internet names everywhere. You know, this is Cuck Turd.
One of the most distinctive things about the right wing in this country
Cat
is its
Turd
homosexual
Slim.
overtones.
But
Benny
I love
Johnson
Cat Turds, actually.
posts pictures of his children.
Hey. Top MAGA insider Milo Yiannopoulos says he has proof that Benny Johnson is gay and possibly even underage boys. Add Benny Johnson to the long list of closeted MAGA freaks and holier-than-thou Christian hypocrites. It's because Cuck Turd is fake Cat Turd, by the way. In case you guys didn't know, but I was just saying I love Cat Turd's name. Not like telling older folks, man, when you're sitting in a line talking with somebody in the, who is internet savvy, you're going, man, oh yeah, I love Cat Turd. Yeah, me too. Cat Turd is amazing. People going, the fuck is wrong with people these days? Kind of fun. But this guy is not Cat Turd. I'm just saying, but here we go. Closeted MAGA freaks. Really? Is there proof? No. Milo, dear free speech warrior Benny, dear Kate, few notes for your consideration. Because Benny responded saying he may have to defend his family and do something about this. I know more about defamation than any lawyer you will hire. It just means you know how to word things properly. Benny is a public figure. Malice is a non-starter. I have receipts, and the truth is a total defense against any claim of defamation or libel. Do you want to lose a defamation case to Milo Yiannopoulos, of all people, about whether or not you are gay? Do you want to even fight one? Now, let me tell you, what does this sound like? This sounds an awful lot like Candace Owens. Oh, Brigitte Macron is a guy. And then Brigitte Macron is Emmanuel Macron's dad, actually. He married his sex-changed father. This is the same insanity. It's almost like the same playbook. It's almost like it's insane that Candace comes up with this shit about Brigitte Macron and Emmanuel Macron, and then Milo comes up with this about Benny at about the same time. The math is going nuts here. We are living in a simulation. I mean, holy crap. All this means is he knows that since he's a public figure and doesn't have to prove malice is almost impossible. Do you even want to fight one? The people who have poured money into making you a big deal are about to lose their entire investment. And I do admit that. I think that Benny Johnson was a little bit of a made man. He came in with huge backing and right away had all the staff and money and power you needed. And he's grown huge. I know more about your marriage than you think I do, and I have evidence, and I have witnesses. I know who to subpoena. I know what questions to ask about nocturnal liaisons. I don't know how to pronounce that. With chaps in assless chaps. All chaps are assless. There's no such thing as an assed chap. Look what chaps are. You'll know. For those who don't know, no chaps have asses. And chaps and about being caught in flagrante delicto at conferences attended by students, some who may have been under 18. Whew. But yeah, it's just weird that he comes up with this about the time Candace is coming up with her crap. And I said, that was in response to Benny. I am duty bound to take action to protect my family against those who maliciously defame and attack us. More to come on that soon. Pray for healing for some really sick and delusional people. Jesus is about redemption. The legal system is about justice. I will say the Jesus is about redemption part could say that maybe Benny was. He is kind of a pretty boy, isn't he, though? His hair and everything. I don't know. Remember, I don't like his opening. Hey, it's your boy, Benny. You're not my boy. You're not my boy. You see me calling and going, hey, it's your boy, Kylie at LYON'S Den. Hey, I'm your buddy pal. All right, Jimmy, it's all a psyop. We're embracing the age of Al Sharpton grifter mentality. Boy, I tell you what, Candace has gone way past Al Sharpton grifting. Milo said it, they don't want to go through Discovery with him. Yeah, that just means he's going to pull out anything. If they go through Discovery, they will glean and find something to hurt you, embarrass you, anything. Anything. That's all. It doesn't take anything big either, just anything. So, yeah. I don't know. The Matrix is convincing to keep people invested. Yeah. Yeah. If you believe the Matrix, hey, humans rejected paradise. So now they're giving us this crap. And right now, the Matrix is working hard to keep everybody doped, stressed up and going nuts. We are thinking, working, cussing, fighting, whatever else going on right now. Yeah, that Matrix, you're right, buddy. Dude, that Matrix is working. Dopamine is a hell of a drug. Remember when Milo made the allegations on the stream? The normally very cautious Tim didn't say anything. Perhaps thought Tim heard rumors? Maybe. Tim's always deferred to Milo, though. It's weird. Some people would say he has something on Tim. I don't know. Because he's done crazy shit with Kanye. And he let Milo dance away from that. Milo was his manager, his PR guy. But Milo, I didn't know that was going to happen. I'm sorry, Tim. Tim's like, it's okay, buddy, pal. Milo had to know that Kanye already had the jet ready on the field to go. He had to know what was about to be pulled. But he acted like he didn't. Tim let him out. Tim has always had a blind spot for Milo. I don't know why. Feel free to insert your own tinfoil idea there because I'm running low on tinfoil. I really am. I'm running way low on tinfoil. All right. We are 2:13 in, so I want to be out of here in a little bit. But yeah, Tim has always had a blind spot for Milo. Some people say because Milo knows stuff about Tim. I don't know. But he's let him dance out of plenty of other things, and not just the Kanye thing. Milo said some insane, crazy stuff on his show before, and Tim just laughs. All right. Milo has a Sour Patch Lids picture. There you go, Jay Watterson. That one I may give you. I don't know. Wonder if you can find those pics. All right, so we're about out of here. Maybe I'll try to make a video on this tomorrow. I know it's a little old school, old news now, but meant to get to it today, but didn't get a chance to. Little quick question here. This is something I noticed just when I was posting a link to my stream. Okay, this comes up. You know, stuff comes up on X. When you were 16 years old, How many of your friends had their own therapists or took prescription drugs for depression? Or how about all the other behavioral drugs people take now, especially women? I knew of, hell, I'm not that old. I'm not as old as a lot of people. Actually, I don't know. A lot of people estimate I'm younger than I am. But I'll tell you right now, when I was in school or even college, people were, if somebody was on seeing a therapist, a girl was seeing a therapist regularly, all the time, hell, let alone a guy seeing therapists all the time and on multiple medications, people would be going, and watch that person. You were rare. Now it is insane, the percentage of people on them. It is scary and is a sad, sad comment on our times. It's nuts. I just saw that and thought I'd throw that out there real quick because I thought it was like, yike. And it's a fact. It's a true, frightening fact. All right. Go over here real quick. Chat with you guys for a couple minutes and we'll hop out of here. Please do me a favor. Please hit thumbs up whether you're watching this live or later. Please comment, like, subscribe if you like. And stop back for more and I know I have a weird schedule, everybody. I totally understand. So that's why I don't bitch quite as much about the YouTube algorithm, even though I know what they're doing. Because, yeah, you know, Jenny from India admitted it to me pretty much. So yeah, great-o. All right, let me get it back here, you guys. Milo has the Sour Patch. Liz, yeah, at 16, I didn't have friends. Okay. But you know what I mean. But think back when we were in grade school, high school. I'm assuming there's different ages here. Grade school, high school. You didn't know a lot of people on all these dang drugs, on all the behavioral problems, especially the women. It's crazy. Wow, what is that doing in the background? That is going nuts back there. What did I do? It's kind of cool that it's going, though. That's crazy crap. It was going. Okay. Okay, Candy, I moved too much to have friends at 16. Yeah, but even then, how many people did you know that were on all these things or had so many problems? It's become such a prevalent thing. And now you've got, and I'm not trying to pick on women here. This is going to come off wrong. I know that. But I'm too tired to get my wording any better or get my idea across better. Now you have all these soft guys who are like, there's nothing wrong with going to therapists all the time. It's a good thing to be in touch with our feminine side. No, that's bad. Women should be feminine. Guys should be masculine, and that's that. I mean, it's crazy because all these lefty women who scream about, oh, guys, we don't want these manly men. Masculinity's bad. You're toxic. You're so toxic. But then they're like, they never want to stay with the lefty guys. They end up going with the center or right guys. They get bored. Even they can't stand them. It's stupidity. It's like they're just trying to get themselves out of the gene pool, pretty much. Kids on Ritalin, yeah. Ritalin was like the only thing you'd hear about back then, yes. But you'd heard about them. And it was rare. And it was like, whoa, little Timmy's on that? Whoa, what's wrong with Timmy here? Oh, Timmy, you okay? It wasn't like, oh, that's just like 75% of the other kids were around. Also, I remember them talking back then, if you did know somebody like that, they could have some weird swings. But now we ignore all these drug side effects. Now we give them a drug for a behavioral problem, then another one to offset that side effect. Then that one causes a side effect. They give them another one. It's like crazy. And I'm going to ask a question. Why is it all these behavioral drugs, they're supposed to make you not depressed? Why do they always have a side effect? Depression or suicidal thoughts. What the absolute shit? Are we giving these people anything? I mean, my God. Sounds about as effective as popping the valve core out of your tire, sucking in some of the tire air. We're going to give you something for depression and suicidal thoughts that causes depression and suicidal thoughts. The frig? That just makes no sense. That's like, we're going for your fire extinguisher helps put out fires in your house. But, you know, we're going to fill it with napalm. Good grief. Okay, the reason so many on it now is because they can't think for themselves and want some. Well, yeah, that's true. And there's a lot of parents we can blame that on. We have the everybody gets a trophy generation. Nobody gets grounded. Nobody gets spanked. Kids watch inane bullshit. Kids have their faces stuffed in these and can't think without these. Kids can't do 2 + 2 without these things. Remember? 2 + 2 is 5. This is their brain. That's it. They have no memories. I go out of my way to do things by memory and math by memory at times. They can't. They can't read a regular clock. They can't read cursive. They barely read books. Yeah. It's crazy. We got the spoiled generation. Remember, a lot of us were the generations of people who thought grasshopper and the ant. The ant is the good guy. The grasshopper is the jackass. Now, they rarely teach it, and when they do, I've actually seen a friend whose kid came home with paperwork, and they were talking about it from school. They were teaching that the grasshopper was the good guy, and the ant was evil and mean for not giving the grasshopper his stuff. He should equally support the grasshopper. Insane. Sticks and stones might break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Even Bugs Bunny said that, followed by a meh. Now they teach words hurt. Big change for soft-minded, soft people. SSRIs are prevalent. Yes, they are. Famous quote, I never had any friends later on like the ones I had when I was 12. Jesus is that one. Yeah. Well, that's a big thing, especially for men. Men, it's harder for everybody, but especially for men to make friends later in life. To make real friends, like you had when you were younger. Yeah. Seems like men especially are really good at, we make friends when we're kids, and you hope to maintain those friendships for your life. Because if you lose them, it is very hard to ever make friends with that connection level ever again. I got some people I call friends, and I like them, but we're not close friends. Like the one or two, not many left because a lot of them did stupid crap and got themselves off. Like when you have heart problems in your family and blood pressure problems, you don't smoke and drink like crazy. Yep, sorry. My friend Taco should have been paying a little more attention, but he didn't. But yeah, I have a couple of my childhood friends left, and I value the shit out of them. I have some newer friends. And one is actually kind of an old friend, but he used to be my brother's friend back in the day. But he's my friend now, so I consider him an old school friend. But I have a couple other friends that are newer, but yeah, they're not the same. It is 100% not the same. So yeah, Jay Watterson, you're 100% right. Nice try. I'm not eating the Z-bugs. Yeah, neither am I. Of course, if we're all in the Matrix, we're getting pumped dead humans into us. It's even worse, Soylent Green. So we're getting the Soylent energy drink pumped into us. All right, guys, I do appreciate it. I went a little over, but hey, for me, 2 hours and 23 minutes ain't bad. I am losing my voice a little bit. All right, guys, thank you very much. I appreciate it. If you think of anything, please leave comments below. Jay Watterson, I believe most of your links open up here. Thank you very much. If you're watching this afterwards, please leave comments. And I'm going to try to do at least one more video, well, today. Now, we'll see how that goes. But for you, it's early. No, for me, it's late because I've been up since 9 a.m. I am just like 5 or 6 hours short of 24 hours right now, and I still got breathing treatments and meds to do. So, yeah, I'm going to be up a while. Huh. Red, oh, Red. Yeah, you made it just as I was leaving, dude. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. I've been on for 2 hours and 20 minutes. I'm so sorry. Feel free to go back and watch if you have time. I don't say anybody has to. I get it. But if you have time, feel free to go back and watch and leave any comments. But I do have to get off here because I have 3 nebulized treatments and some dogs I got to take care of yet. So, Rad, 8 p.m. for you. So, wow. Yeah, you are really around the planet. Dang, dude. But, yeah, we did discuss a lot of what happened on TimcastIRL tonight and some of the stuff with Candace Owens and some standard stuff. We had some agreements, we had some disagreements. But I think we all came out for the better of it. So, thank you very much to Jay Watterson, K Candy, Jimmy, Joey, lurkers in the background, and the people over on Grumble who are still there. Okay, thank you, Rumblers. But thank you very much, everybody. I do have to get out of here. Sorry, Rad. I'm dying. The caffeine is gone. So I appreciate it. I apologize. I can't catch everybody and have notifications, you know. Bleh. I'll bet you watch Candace tomorrow. I'll bet I don't. I look for clips. I'm not going to sit down in front of her show. I will go to X later and look for clips. That's what I'll do. I'm not going to give her that satisfaction and watch all of her show. Even when I try to, I just can't. I'll go to X and look for what the hell. Because they'll pull the highlights out anyway. People a lot smarter than me or have more time than me will watch and go, nah, don't care that, no. Oh, here we go. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you very much. I really do have to go. I'm dying here. You know, you start getting hot when you're really tired. Oof. All right. Have a good one, man. Ma'am. Everybody. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Sorry again, Rad.